Um, I just had the strangest reaction, and my battery is about 14%, so I'll make it quick. Um, I have to talk about this. Firstly, racism in this country is so deep rooted that it's actually scary. And I mean, I know it's a serious topic, and I mean, look how far we've. So it must be important somehow, apparently. Um, I don't know. But came into work today. We had a meeting, you know, and one of my coworkers, Tavan, um, me and him, and there's a couple other black guys, but he has a habit of like really making a fool out of himself. And I don't know why, but and to some degree on the surface it's funny, but it's strange to me, right? In a way. So the whole time he's making like slave jokes and doing all this weird stuff, all this massive stuff and all this weird stuff, right? But I guess because he's black, no one's gonna call him out for that. But I guess maybe if anybody should call him out, it should be me. But I wasn't gonna do that right there. But everybody was just laughing, and I guess it was a somewhat awkward laugh, but people were laughing, and it was like they were joining in and all this stuff. And this is nothing that I'm not used to, or at least familiar with, let's say. I'm not used to that, but I just thought it was strange. I also thought it was strange that like it's like he's on the offensive with it. Like, yeah, they were chiming in and stuff, but he was really the kind of the push for it, which was weird. Also, I just don't know why that's not really a place to be making those type of jokes. Like what we're joking about is something essentially pretty serious. But I guess because he's black, it's not as jarring, maybe, let's say. But even if it was now this is me personally, right? Even if this was like a place of business, like this isn't. But then I guess like I said, people want to feel like they're friends and they can tell you everything and all this nonsense, and joke around. But it was just very strange to me. And I'm not even really mad. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Very strange. I won't even say disappointed, because he probably thinks like, he's just making a joke and it's not a big deal. But I just hate that he went to those levels. But I said that first so that I can say this next part that I'm getting at. So I was cleaning, I clean pools, right, for residents and complexes. So I clean pools for basically rich people, and I also clean pools for hotels and apartment complexes. Pretty straightforward. It's not all rich people, but most people who have a pool in their backyard, who maintains it and who's paying hundreds of dollars, has money. Let's just say they have enough money to do all that. Actually, I wouldn't even say they're rich. I mean, well, some of them are very, very rich. That's not the point. I went to this lady's house. I've cleaned her pools before. Nice lady, kids and stuff, daughter, husband, all that stuff. By the way, bruh, I'm into her to take all that. Bro, she has like ducks, like these little rubber, like her kids throw all this stuff in the pool, and I'm like, dude, like I'm here to clean the pool, but dude, I'm not just gonna grab all your bullshit. And I mean, I did, but dude, keep that shit out the pool, man. Like floaties and shit, dude. Either way, dude, okay, I'm getting off track, but the point is, I find people are uncomfortable with me because I don't fit the mold of what they're like expecting. And I get that. I am a strange, eccentric dude. I talk very proper, for the most part, unless I'm trying to dial it back, you know. I sometimes dial it back just to make people not feel too uncomfortable, you know. Speaking of that, real quick, side note. The amount of people that say I talk white is honestly insane. I don't know what that means. I get it, I guess, kind of, somewhat, but that also struck me as very strange. Either way, I cleaned her pool. Everything was fine. Her kids were curious what I was doing and stuff, and she's like, no, let's go over here, blah, blah, blah. I get done. I start bringing my stuff to the car. And I'm interacting with her somewhat while her kids are running around. And I believe her daughter, I'm not really, was there. And she was like, I don't know, at least 18, 20 or something, just so we get the context right. But everything was fine until I was going back to grab the last of my things, and her child, that was of age 1, maybe 1.5, I wouldn't even say 2, just barely walking, you know. And the child looks up at me. I couldn't even tell if it was a boy or girl. That's how young the child was. And the child was like, Dada, Dada, or, you know, like saying I'm her dad or whatever. And like, while this is a sort of kind of a funny, I would say lighthearted event, you know. If I had a child, you know, if my child called somebody else mama, right? I'd be like, most of the time, her dad or whatever. I'd be like, that's not your mom, man. Like, it would have a joke kind of a feel to it, because it's funny almost, you know? It's like you got this small white child calling me dada. I mean, it could have been a black child. It still would have been funny to me, but I'm saying what it is. And I thought it was funny. Before I was being polite and stuff, you know, but I was trying to kind of, I try to distance myself when people are around their kids, you know, just so they can, but the kids kept trying to, she had another kid too, he was like 5 or something. I said excuse me to him because, you know, he was eating like a lollipop or something, or some shit, I don't know, dude, but I had to get past him anyways. But he was also very curious. But once the baby essentially called me Dada or something, the lady that was super nice, like, kind of like something changed right there. It was really weird. And like, she looks at the baby and was like, that's not your dad. Like, kind of, I can't do a good impression, but it was like almost scolding, or it was like a weird undertone of passive aggressive, maybe even slightly bitter response, which was weird. You know, it's just a baby, like, not like the baby knows like who I am. They just see, I imagine the baby just saw a male and was just like, oh, okay. I mean, dogs do it all the time, right? They just see that, oh, okay, this dude's cool. Like, I don't know, like, it was so weird to see, and it was a quick reaction. So, you know, I played it off, you know, okay, bye, whatever, you know, it was a good time. But then I'm thinking about it now, and it was just weird. I've never seen someone scold a baby, and it was seen for something seemingly so innocent, you know? But somehow that baby crossed the line. And that got me thinking too. I'm like, what does it matter, man? It should be like, she should have said it like, and I mean, I don't know what she went through that day maybe, but she was fine earlier. She was joking, laughing. She didn't seem like stressed or anything. But as soon as that baby called me dad, something happened there. I don't know what it is, but somehow that triggered her. And she got like mad at the baby. I'm thinking, okay, Why would she get mad at the baby for calling me dad? It could be maybe she has some deep, emotions towards black people. It could be a lot of things. Or just maybe, I don't know, but you don't get angry at a baby like that. You don't scold a baby for being a baby. That's why I'm even harping on this, because it was just strange. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get mad at a baby like that, except maybe a crying baby, But I still don't fully know why she was this pissed. I think maybe, I don't know, there could be multiple reasons, and I'm gonna go through them quickly because I think my battery's about to die. Maybe one, she doesn't like black people. And I feel like, yes, but I also feel like it's not good enough, because that would be too simple and that would make too much sense, I mean, even though it doesn't make sense, but that's too straightforward, I think, for the answer. Number two, could be some form of jealousy or envy with maybe black people. I also kind of don't believe that, per se. Three, maybe her father or her mother told her that she was not allowed to like black guys or something, And then maybe she accepted that, and she kind of has some resentment, about situations like that make her think about that. I think that could be possible. It's more than just I don't like black people, because I don't know. But we are all screwed up. From the guy at my job, to me, to that chick. We are just all screwed up in the Americas. By the way, we have this thing on Podium, right? It's called Podium, but it's basically a messaging platform where we message customers. Like 10 minutes ago, she responded to what I said about cleaning her pool. Now it's been about a few hours. So she read it a few hours later and still felt the need to respond. I don't know, that was something, because I literally just seen it on my phone. That was also like, okay, I guess why would I respond to something when I know they're either closed or, that'd be like if I try calling, responding to a text that, the leasing department, they're not open, or why would I respond if, like, I don't know, it wasn't needed. Either way, we are screwed up in America. I don't know how this has happened. Maybe we're just really not as free as we think we are. We chalk this up to like, oh, we're like the freest country and all this stuff, but maybe we're not as free as we think. And I don't know. I could be blowing this way out of proportion, but I really think it stuck with me. Something was weird about, one, the guy at my job, two, that chick. It was also weird because her daughter, right, I believe, I felt like at first she was shocked by the way I sound, because maybe she wasn't expecting, I don't know. People have their own thoughts. People make up their own generalizations. I do it myself too, and then that's what you expect. But when I was leaving, she definitely looked at me like she liked me. I don't know, man. There's a complex there that I'm thinking about. I also, I'm not gonna mention any of this to my coworker. Whatever. He's a cool dude, he's a solid dude, but I don't know, man. I feel like racism has just screwed us all up in the head.